What's going on, guys and girls? We're here playing some more Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to complete all the mission tasks for mission 30, which is called Skull Face. So a lot of you guys have been asking for me to add this sort of thing at the start so you guys can see what equipment I'm taking in and also what time of day I'm dropping in. I've always been dropping in at 0600 or 1800 for the time of day, and then I'm trying to put some links in Twitter as well so that you guys can see a photo of exactly what I've been taking into the missions. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be dropping in this mission. There are 6 mission tasks you need to complete. 2 of them are a bit odd, and the rest of them are, you know, just extract, walker gear, obtain certain things, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to be going through every single mission task in the single playthrough, and I'm also going to be S-ranking it. Obviously, you guys don't have to do that. Hopefully, you guys understand that by now, that you can do this in multiple playthroughs, so you can come through and do a couple of tasks, and come through again, do the other couple of tasks. Or you can do your S-rank on a completely different playthrough. You don't have to get everything before you get that S-rank. You don't have to do every mission task to get that S rank. So the first thing we're going to talk about is there are 2 red containers out here. One of the mission tasks is extract 7 red containers from this area. I'm not sure if those 2 count. I am putting them out because you could probably extract them and maybe count towards them. But if it doesn't count towards them, there are another 7 that are within the compound itself. So those are the ones we are going to be extracting. So the first thing we're doing is we're just heading up here. This is where you're going to have to try and get into this main compound. I think it's called the OKB Zero compound. So just out here you're going to find your first walker gear, but there's also a few other guys. There's a sniper that's going to be the most annoying guy in this area. So what we're going to do is we just have to make sure we don't get spotted by him. So as long as he's not looking directly at you, you can usually move around from this distance on the ground just by lying down. And when he stops looking directly at you, you can just jump up and start moving around normally. You just also want to make sure that you don't get spotted by anyone else, so don't make sure that you don't run properly, otherwise someone else might spot you, but you should be okay. There are also some directional mines you have to look out for, and we're just going to go up to the right hand side up here and head up to this little wall, and we're just going to wait behind this wall for the right moment. Now I've done this a few times, and when I went over the wall a bit earlier than when I'm going to go now, these guys, someone does spot me, and then if I go a little bit later, then someone spots me. The odd thing is, with the perfect time to go over this wall is right when the walker gear gets to his closest location, and he's going to stop. When he stops, that's when I decide to jump over, and it just seems like every time I did it just that time, no one spotted me. But if I went over a bit earlier or a bit later, then someone definitely did spot me. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to go past this little directional mine there, and we're going to tranquilize this first guy. We are going to get rid of him because he is the only one that's going to really be a bother once we get close enough. So what we're going to do is get rid of him, and then we're going to switch to the stun arm. I am taking the stun arm. I have leveled it up fully to level 4, so that means that I am able to call down the lightning strikes. So remember that if anyone is within the 40-meter radius of this when I let it go, then they will be stunned instantly by this device. So it's very, very helpful for missions like this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to crawl along here until we get close enough. While we're doing that, we need to charge it fully up to its full power so that we will get the lightning strike ability. And once we've got 40 meters within most of these guys, we're going to get them. Now you can't, I don't think you can get this guy and all of the other guys as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to tranquilize them right there and there with the sniper rifle tranquilizer gun. And then we're just going to extract our first walker gear. So this is the location of roughly where it is. It is patrolling up and down this little road here, remember? But it should just be outside the compound right here. Now what we're doing is we're going to head to the gate, and we're not going to worry about anyone else around here. We're not going to worry about extracting them or anything like that, because none of them actually spotted us, so they shouldn't be warned. They shouldn't start warning people that are intruders in here or something like that. So this guy is the next sniper in the next area. You have to look out for him because he will spot you very easily, because he does look through the doorway and he can see you from there. So you want to make sure that he's not looking directly at you when you shoot at him, otherwise you will get a reflex mode. And for this mission I had to get it through like without getting it, you know, reflex mode, without getting any combat alerts or anything to get S rank. If you don't want to worry about S rank, you can probably just shoot him and you'll get the reflex mode, and you'll probably put him to sleep straight away. And then we just want to make sure that anyone that spotted him go down. You want to make sure you tranquilize them as well, because otherwise they might spot you as well. and they might wake him up as well, so all that sort of stuff. We're going to also tranquilize this guy. He is a very important person to get, because once you tranquilize him, the walker guy is actually going to notice that he's gone down, and we're going to allow him to call into his buddies saying there's something weird going on here, and that is going to allow us to get a bunch of these guys very, very easily. So as you can see, he's just going on alert with threat detected. We want to make sure this guy doesn't wake up any of those guys over there. But we don't mind if the walker guy wakes up this guy that we tranquilize here. That is the very, very big reason. We want them to alert someone, because then a whole bunch of the guys, the soldiers, are going to come down the road looking for what is going on, and you'll see that soon. Once I get rid of these guys, I'm just going to tranquilize them so that they are also out of my way. You also have to look out for the gunship. It is patrolling around here. It doesn't kind of come too far this way, but he will end up patrolling a bit, and he takes a bit more of a notice further along. So as you can see, this guy is one of the first guys that's going to come looking around. So that is the reason we allowed the walker guy to spot the other guys, because number one, it's very hard to get him when he's walking towards you, and number two, it just helps you out so much if you get him. So that's going to be our second walker gear that we're going to be extracting right there. It's usually around this location. He does patrol in this area, so it should be anywhere between the first gate that you go through and the second gate. And this is also one of the tanks you have to extract for one of the mission tasks, so we're just going to extract that tank right there. So as you can see, more of the guards are going to start coming down this road because of the fact that that walker guy called in that alert and was just like, something weird's going on here and we need someone to check it out. And so as you can see, all of these guys are just going to start coming down here. So if you just start shooting them and tranquilizing them, then what will happen is they'll just all end up being asleep in front of that area, and you can just go past it, and that takes a lot of the enemies out of the next area. So as you can see, we're just getting rid of all these guys. We just want to make sure that they're all asleep so we can get past them. We don't really want too many of them to call in alerts, because then you can end up with a bit of an odd setup further along. But as you can see, this is pretty easy. Just getting through all of this bit, you just keep shooting anyone who shows up. This guy I do miss a couple of times, so you just want to try and make sure you hit him. Don't use too much ammo, because you need quite a bit of ammo for this mission. So you want to try and be as accurate as you can. There's also this guard that started disappearing and reappearing. That happened to me a couple of times when I was trying to do this mission, so you just have to watch out for that. You don't just stand up and start running, especially if you might have noticed someone just disappear, because they're still there. It's just you can't see them because of your view distance. What do you call that? How far away you can see. It just kind of started messing up. And as you can see, if you look across here, you can't really see anyone, but if you use your binoculars, you'll start noticing some guards up here. So there's also the sniper in the next area. Just make sure there's no sniper at this point right in front of us, the little hut in front of us, because sometimes that guy doesn't end up following the others, and you can end up getting spotted by him. So as you can see, there are more guys up here we are going to have to deal with. You do also have to look out for anyone that starts waking up behind you. I found that when I did this one time, I put one of those sleeper mines, so those mines that end up releasing sleep gas in this little tunnel area. So if they start waking up behind you and start coming back towards you, then what you can do is if you have some of those placed out, then they'll just trigger those and fall asleep, and you'll be totally fine. So what we're going to do here is we just want to keep crawling along the ground, because if you're crawling, then the helicopter won't see you, and you can also then get some of these guys, and hopefully the sniper up here doesn't see you as well. There is a sniper right there. He is the one who spots me, and he's kind of like, what's going on? And you just want to make sure that, because I don't want any things, I just have to wait for him to not be facing directly at me. Unfortunately, the helicopter goes right on top of me at this time as well, so it makes it very hard for me to shoot him and get an accurate shot, and I don't want to use too much more of my ammo for my sniper rifle. I do end up getting a headshot, so it makes it a lot easier, and then we are just going to use our other weapon to get rid of these guys so that we don't use too much ammo, because there are a couple of hard shots coming up that it would be very hard to do if you were just using your pistol. So this is the third walker that we have to extract. If you use the technique that I used earlier to get the other guards to come down towards you, then that walker gear guy is usually not on the walker gear. But if he is on the walker gear, then he'll just be patrolling between the gate we just came through and the gate just in front of us. And now what we're going to do is we're going to extract 4 of the 7 mineral containers that we have to extract. So this is the location of that, and because I was looking at the iDroid, I noticed that there was this guy coming up here. So what you can do is you can either tranquilize them like I'm about to, or you can throw like a sleeping grenade or something like that, or you could do that thing that I talked about before by putting that sleeper mine earlier on. Then you wouldn't have to worry about him noticing that. Then what we're going to do is there is this guy that is getting closer, and he's kind of just being very curious, so we just want to make sure we get rid of him. We also want to make sure that we don't get spotted by the helicopter while that's patrolling around, so you want to make sure that he is not looking directly at you, and you just want to extract these mineral containers. So there are 4 right here. Try not to hop on top of it like I just did then. And then we are going to head towards the next door, and you'll also find the second tank that we have to extract. So you just want to make sure that you're always lying down when the helicopter goes across past you, because if you're lying down, he just doesn't see you. But if you are in like a crouched position or even just standing up, he will notice you. And if he's really close, then he might actually just go instantly into an attack formation kind of thing. So we're just going to also make sure that these guys don't wake too many of these guys up. So we're just going to try and tranquilize them. Getting the headshots is very, very good. If you don't get the headshots, you can always do them otherwise. And this guy is just going to be behind the thing. Come out from behind there and we can get him. So now there are some of the other guys that are just starting to come across through the area. So those are the guys we tranquilized earlier. If you got them in headshots, then they probably would have stayed asleep a lot longer. But it shouldn't be too bad if you can just keep going. Hopefully they will be distracted by the fact that the other guys are asleep. You also want to make sure that the sniper guy you shot in the face before, hopefully you shot him in the face so that he stays down long enough, and you can get this tank here. So I think I end up tranquilizing some of these other guys just because of the fact that I don't want them to get too close, and hopefully D-Dog doesn't get in the way and get tranquilized. And we can just get these guys and be all good. So now we're going to extract this tank right here, and this will be the second tank you need to extract for the mission tasks, and then you want to just continue on. So that is located right there, so hopefully you guys can see exactly where that is, and we're going to move on to the next tank, and also the last 3 mineral containers left, and also the last walker gear. So once you get through here, there are a few guys in this area, so you want to make sure that you don't get spotted by them, especially if you're trying to go for the S rank. But if you're not trying to do that, then you can go through here as crazy as you want. I'm going to tranquilize that guy so that, because he's a sniper and you don't want him spotting you at any time, I am then going to charge up my stun arm because it's been long enough that I can now charge it fully up again. And so we're going to be using that to get rid of a bunch of these guys here. If you get it into the really good spot, maybe take out this guy here by tranquilizing him, the guy that's just in front of me, and then you can probably get a lot closer with the stun arm and get a lot more of these guys. So having to get that many guys, there are a few guys on the left hand side that you didn't see that I ended up getting, and we are also going to go around here. So this is the other tank you have to extract. We just want to try and do it without being spotted. So we're just going to keep moving along, crawling along here because the attack helicopter is still patrolling around, and we also want to get some of these guys. So they definitely know there's an enemy around here, so we want to make sure that we don't get spotted because they're on fully alert, but they do not, they don't know exactly where I am, so I can still get reflex modes if something goes wrong. But I don't want to try and get reflex modes because I think if you maybe might be able to get through it, especially if you don't get a combat alert, but you probably won't get the perfect stealth and stuff like that. So now that those guys are tranquilized, we don't have to worry about it. Even though that guy's still awake, he will fall asleep eventually. We can extract these mineral containers. So these ones are precious metals, so hopefully we get a bit out of these ones once we extract them. I am using the wormhole Fulton device. I think all you need is the one that will allow you to extract heavy vehicles and containers, and you'll be perfectly fine with doing this. And we are going to extract this tank. That is the third tank that you need to extract in this mission. And then we are going to extract this walker gear. And I will show you on the map exactly where it is. You could probably already recognize it. I'm just going to go in here so that I don't get spotted. And so this is the location, and then you also, I was just checking to see if I got the mission tasks. I did miss one mineral container that I do go back for. As you might have noticed, there was that one right in front of me. I was like, why didn't I get that mission task? And it was like, there is a mineral container right there that I missed. And you remember, you have to get the red ones. So you can't just extract any mineral containers, you have to extract the red ones. So now they've extracted that one, I should get all the mission tasks, and I'm pretty sure I do check that once I run up here. It does take a while for the mission tasks to show up on, as you know, you've completed them. You have to wait a little while before they say, oh yep, you've completed that mission task. So once we go up here, we will get the cassette tape. So the cassette tape is located just to the left-hand side of me in the elevator that you use when you're talking to Skullface, but you can't get it during that time because it's in the cutscene. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you run over here to the elevator first before running up to the helicopter, and you will get this cassette tape right there, and that is the one you need for the mission task. So once you've done that, I'm just going to show you the exact location of that right there, and now you can see that I've completed all the mission tasks that are optional, and the other two are just part of completing the mission. So when I played through this the first time, I'm pretty sure I got both of them by just completing the mission, but I skipped the cutscenes this time, and there's no way of telling whether or not that gave me both of those mission tasks. I believe they are just the ones that you will get at the end of the mission, because that's the time when it came up saying mission objective complete. It was right at the end before so it was right around here. This is when it showed up with, this was the mission task complete, mission 2 task complete. And so hopefully that will give you that. If it doesn't give it to you, then you just need to go through the mission again and just watch the cutscenes. It is quite a long cutscene, so you definitely won't get S rank or anything like that if you had watched all those cutscenes. But if you had skipped them, as you can see, I got S rank, 157,000 points, and that's all you have to do for this mission. So hopefully you guys have been able to get all the mission tasks and maybe the S rank, maybe first try or maybe a couple of tries in. And sorry there haven't been any videos for a while. I've been just kind of busy and just want to try and get through some of these other missions so that I can get a few videos up. So that's what I'm going to do for this video. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys have now got all of the mission tasks, and now it's time for me to say see you guys and girls, and hopefully see you in the next video.